Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is the third time trying to make this video. Um, let's dive into it. Hopefully it will work this time. So in this problem, we're given a table and we are given a few questions that we have to answer in regards to this specific problem. So it says, the table shows the value of a camper T years after it is purchased. The first thing that it asks is determine whether the table represents an exponential growth function or exponential decay function or neither. Well, we can easily determine this by finding whether we have a common ratio. And the way that we can determine that is picking two y values. In this case, I'm going to pick 29,600 and 37,000, and I'm going to divide the second value of y by the first value of y. Well, in this case, this is y2, this is y1. 29,600 divided by 37,000. If you put that in the calculator, I'm not going to do it, but you can do it. That will give you 0.8. 0.8. Okay. Well, if you were to multiply each of these values by 0.8, 37,000 times 0.8, you will get 29,600. 29,000 times 0.8 will give you 23,680. And 23,680 times 0.8 is 18,944. You can check this very quickly using your calculator. It shouldn't take you more than a minute to check this work. Now, we need to identify whether this is exponential growth or a decay. Well, by definition, we know that if b, which this is a value of b, if b is between 0 and 1, then we have exponential decay. If b is between 0 and 1, we have exponential decay. So that's it for that question. Question number 2, or letter B, says what is a y-intercept and what does it represent? Well, if I am multiplying each of these y values by 0.8 to get the next term, so that means if I want to know the next term, I will multiply by 0.8. What do you think you can do to get a previous term? What do you think you can do? I would recommend that you pause the video right now and see if you can come up with a way that you can find out what the y-intercept will be. Okay, so hopefully you paused the video. And something that I forgot to mention is that what we're looking for is when t is equal to 0. What is the value? What is the value of the car when t is equal to 0? We don't know the value. We don't know what the value is. So if I go backwards one time, then I will find out what that value is. If your answer is that you can divide by 0.8 to get the previous value, you are correct. And you can do that. If we do 37,000 divided by 0.8, you will get a total value of $46,250. Make sure that you include the sign because we're talking about dollars. Well, the next part is we need to answer what it represents. I told you that there are two words that are very important, very important to answer this part. And the two words are the initial. Well, the y-intercept represents the initial. Well, what is it that we're talking about? We're talking about value of a camper, so we need to include that in our sentence. So that will be the initial value of the camper. It's the initial value of the camper. That means that when you first bought this camper, it was worth $46,250. Let's go into letter C. Letter C says, what is the growth or decay factor of the function? Well, this is just a definition that we have to know. The growth or decay factor of the function is the value of b. Well, what is the value of b? We found it, and we found that it was 0.8. 0.8 is the decay factor. Do not get confused with the decay or factor or growth factor and the growth or decay rates. The rate is a percentage by which the value of the car is increasing. Well, in this case, is decreasing. It's a camper. So when I try to find the rate, there is two equations that we can use. For growth, we can use the equation R equals B minus 1. And for decay, we can use the equation R equals 1 minus B. Well, which of these two is happening here? Is the value of the car increasing, of the camper increasing, or is the value of the camper decreasing? Decreasing. Well, the value of the camper is decreasing, therefore I'm going to use the second equation. And that will be R is equal to 1 minus the value of B. B is the decay factor, is 0.8, which is equal to 0.2, and this as a percentage is just 20%. So every year the value of the camper is decreasing by 20%. Letter E, and this will be the last question that I answer here. It says write an exponential function that represents the situation. Write an exponential function that represents the situation. There are two things that I need. I need the value of A and the value of B. Sorry, there should be T. I'm going to use T. Well, the value of A represents your y-intercept. The value of B represents your factor. Luckily, we have found both of these things that we need. And all we have to do is plug in. If you look at your previous answers, you will notice that the y-intercept is 46,250 and the value of the factor it is 0.8. We have successfully come up with an equation that represents how the camper is decreasing every year. I will challenge you to do number 5. I'm going to give you the answer. I'm going to give you the answer that you should get. And the challenge to you is that you come up with a way to do it. Here it is. The answer is y is equal to 15,155 with 20 cents. There you go. That's it for today, my friends. That's it for today.